Well, the idea for the letter came about because we were in the middle of a pandemic. We weren't going to be able to have a spring show, so we decided we had to punt. We had to do something. I've got an amazing group of creative guys that I work with. So we decided we'd just focus on the Word, because you can never go wrong there, right? So we went with the book of Philippians.
So the process of designing a miniature set, one of the big reasons is you want to be able to conceptualize the space that you're going to be in, that the actors are going to be in. It's going to help you figure out what you're going to do with the lighting. It's going to help you figure out what you're going to do with your entrances and exits and how much space that you have to work with. It's going to help you come up with your blocking of where your characters are going to stand. So essentially what I do is a ½ inch equals a foot. And then you just go from there and design around your scale.
All right, yeah, my name is Cody Slayton. I work here at Family Life Ministries. I am set designer and construction supervisor, as they say, and build the sets. So the walls that we're building for this set that you see in the show are 12-inch thick foam walls. We had to figure out how do we get everything to scale with what Robbie designed. How do we get that onto these giant chunks of foam? And that's where the mess began in carving that foam. So we have hot knives, tools that heat up with hot wires that you go and you carve right into that foam like a knife with hot butter.
My name is Aaron Church. I am a scenic artist and assistant set designer here at Family Life. So my favorite part of building a set and painting it is when you see it starting to come together. It can be a little tedious at times when you have big set pieces that you have to work on and you're doing layer after layer of paint. So then it's really rewarding when you grind through that process of putting on like 7 layers just to get it to look specifically like one thing.
Finally got everything cut out, put together over in the shop. Take it all back apart, bring it over here to our main building, laid everything out flat, got all that stuff painted, and from there we're able to take it, stand it all up on stage, and start putting it together.
Production, we shot in a really short period of time, and most of the internal stuff was shot within I would say around 12 hours.
Hey, I'm Jonathan Marmore, and I'm a lighting designer in the Performing Arts Department. Doing the letter was a really cool experience because it was my first time doing lighting design for film. Did a couple different things. We did day scenes and night scenes. Both used basically the same lights. It was a real fun experience. I learned a lot from it.
And then, of course, handing it over to Bob Dusick, who did our score.
Adding emotion to a visual element is really about finding those places where the film pops, where the film is screaming out to say, I need something to support it, something to support underneath it. It's also respecting the silences and creating that tension that happens. For instance, in the letter, there's a long section where there's a lot of verses being read, where Paul is just reading out of the scripture that he is writing. And I chose to actually underscore that with some soft music and then suddenly go to silences right when Marcus interrupts, thus making it very uncomfortable when you hear Marcus interject.
One of the other parts that was fun.
One of the moments I found to be the most humorous.
Nero, our rat.
Nero the rat.
You know, you never know how an animal is going to respond. But ironically, you also never know how a person's going to respond. I know how you're doing.
Rolling on my sandals again.
Working with Nero was great. I loved every minute of it.
So Mike Hyde.
Mike, to say the least, was not thrilled at a rat crawling over his feet.
Not a big fan of rats, found out.
If they thought there was any problems, I think it just goes to show the caliber of my acting. That was all part of the gig.
When I first saw Nero on set, I thought he was pretty cute, and so I kind of had to adopt him. So I went out and got him a little house to live in and took him home after his big acting debut.
For me, it lived up to all of the hype and all the excitement.
You know, one of the blessings of working at Family Life is the opportunities you're afforded. We didn't know what we were going to do for the spring, and we came up with this idea. We ran it across management, and they were, go for it, let's see what happens. And I believe the Lord was in it. We're blessed with an incredible, incredible group of artists here. From scenic painting to set design, to actors, to filming, to editing, to color correction, all those things you might not think about, but it's part of what brings it all together. And this was our first one out of the gate. So that's kind of excited to see what happens from here. The letter is available now for purchase and may be streamed May 28th, 29th, and 30th.